live and direct.
What up? What up? What up?
Sean Dream Show 005. Got a special guest. This is one of the dudes that like first he embraced me when I first wanted to get into the live DJ scene in Dallas for sure. I tried my hardest to get him on all my lineups, whether it be the Now Pop Up or No Sleep, it goes on forever. And this fool, you've been grinding out there, man. You're almost, I would say you're like a young OG, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? Like everybody knows you at this point. He's a Texas bass master. You know what I mean? We got Junk Food, Gourmet God.
What up?
Welcome.
What's poppin'?
Yeah.
It's me.
It's me. So let's just get right into it. So let's just, what do you do? Who are you?
I make bangers.
Yeah, go ahead.
I play bangers.
Mm-hmm.
I like having fun.
Yeah.
Who doesn't?
Yeah, for sure.
I like making people happy, through expressing myself with music.
Would you say that whenever you play out, your goal is to just have girls shaking their ass? Is that basically what you try and do?
Basically, I would say everybody shaking their asses. I mean, it doesn't matter. I appreciate anybody just having a good time and expressing themselves,
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I'd rather play to two people dancing at their hardest as opposed to people who don't care and just like hear me in the background, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So basically anybody, just getting the whole party just hype,
I got you.
Yeah.
So you're that guy that brings that energy
Yeah.
to the show basically.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, so I just wanted to tell a story. I remember the Naum pop-up with, well, it wasn't just Naum. We had other brands along with us, Evolve Minds and your neighborhood cult.
Yeah, shout out them.
Shout out Kevin Ortiz and K Wash and all of them.
Mm-hmm.
But I remember setting up the lineup and I had all the homies on there and it was kind of hard to, choose who I want to be where or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And so I said myself first. I got myself out the way.
Yeah.
But I said Junk Food in that primetime slot, and he really took over. That's where I felt like you shine in that primetime spot.
Appreciate it. Yeah, thank you.
Let's talk about that. Like, is your DJ selection more so like, would you run with the EDM route, or would you say you're more like a beats type dude, or what? Whenever you're getting ready for shows, I know it depends on the audience. Sometimes you're doing gigs for private events, and then sometimes you're doing Lizard Lounge. What I mean? You're doing big shit.
Junk food set.
Yeah, junk food set. Okay, let's talk about So what is a junk food set then? What would you say?
I would say it's eclectic. Just you're gonna get like all kinds of sounds. You're gonna get some genres you didn't know that you liked, or genres that you're not normally exposed to. And you're gonna get stuff you're familiar with, but you're gonna get a lot of new stuff, and it's just gonna be a good time. You're just gonna enjoy it, every bit of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So whenever you're coming up with these, do you play it on the fly? Do you get like a whole bunch of like a big library and you read the crowd, or are you more so like you pick a certain amount of songs? You got, let's say the set is 60 minutes. You got 100 songs that you want to play out, and they're gonna go off regardless, and you just have fun and you just pick which ones and you play with the crowd. How do you do that?
It's a combination of being prepared but also on the fly. Like you said, like I'll have like a crate or a playlist full of tracks, and I'll be like, okay, these are the moments for sure that I want the crowd to experience. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And yeah, I mean, I'll do it depending on if it's going the way that I thought it was going to be or not. So I'll have a set, and if the crowd isn't, going to go where I want them to be, then I will adjust just to get them back on my side, or just to steer it, and into a middle ground or something.
Yeah, something in between what you like to hear and play and what they like to hear and dance to.
Yeah.
I think that's like one of the biggest things whenever you're getting ready to DJ is you have to keep in mind that some people they want to hear lyrics at some point. You know, it can't be all about just a drop or just just a beat. You know, they gotta hear something that brings them to a place. You know, if you hear work, ASAP Ferg work at the club is going off like regardless, no matter what. It's one of those songs that you gotta. If you want everything to be hype, that's in the playlist. You know, and I feel like you do a great job of it because not only are you playing those, but you're playing songs that put people on. You're like, hey, what was that? What's that? What you playing right now? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So talk about one time that you're at a show and maybe it's not going according to plan. Like, how do you what songs or how would you make that adjustment? Like, what would you say is the thing that you're like, okay, now I got to change it. Now I got to flip.
Initially, like, just coming from like reading a crowd and also just playing like opening hour at certain clubs, like, you have to build the floor slowly. And so when it comes to things like that, I keep things into account, like what's the male to female ratio, like how old are these people, what ethnicity, race, like, and I just try to go from there.
Yeah.
And if I'm doing something like that with a show, I pretty much do the same thing. I take account who's in the crowd, how old, what kind of show am I playing, who's playing after me, who's playing before, like who played before me, and there's just a number of things I take into account.
Yeah.
Stuff like that,
Okay, that makes sense. Well, let's get into how you even got started. Like, were you a virtual DJ type dude and you're just messing around? You're like, oh, I like doing this, or like, what happened that you were like, I need to do this?
It was a number of things, really. One of them was I would always spend my allowance at a CD store. Like, I would always be in the CD store, just like trying to get new CDs and stuff and new music to hear, and that like sparked my love for music, or just like, I mean, that like continued like my drive, I guess, to like purchase and like consume music, and so going to things like parties like quinceañeras and stuff when I was a little kid, you would always see DJs and you'd be like, man, they're playing like music like on really big speakers, and I love that. I love playing music really loud and getting a room going. And so I didn't really I dabbled with it a little bit in high school, just like virtual DJ and stuff, because it's like the free go-to program. And it probably until I moved up here is when I actually started like really digging into it. I worked at a warehouse job, and I would slave away until I saved up for this controller. It's called the Traktor S4.
Yeah, I got one of those too.
Yeah, exactly.
And those are definitely the standard. I feel like
Did you see like those controllerist videos where they'll do some crazy stuff?
I mean, I never got that far into it, but like this was more whenever I started. It was more so the reasoning was just to make money almost, So, and then on top of that, I want to see, like how you said, you want to see the crowd react to certain songs. So I would want to go out and play my songs and see what makes the crowd go crazy, But no, I wasn't really that into like actual DJing and watching the videos and stuff. But you got the S4 and then what happened?
Yeah, so I got the S4 and then I just started practicing in my room. I lived with my grandma at the time, and she would go to work in the mornings, and I would have the house to myself for like a smooth maybe like 8 hours. And so as soon as she would dip, I would plug in my speakers and I would just crank it, and I would just DJ for hours and hours and hours. It didn't take until maybe like a couple years later that I actually started like playing out and stuff. I started attending like club nights and stuff, and started just meeting people, and that's like was like my foot into like playing out for other people.
Who really put you into the Dallas scene as a DJ? Who, like, do you have like a promoter friend or something?
As far as I can remember, I would say attending this night at the Green Elephant.
Yeah.
It's called Takeover. It was something Tuesdays. Teched Out Tuesdays. Teched Out Tuesdays.
Okay.
There we go. And yeah, I mean, I would say this was before Prime was a thing, but I would say Prime like put me onto that.
Okay.
But yeah, prior to Prime, they were just
It
called
was
something
Teched Out
else.
Tuesdays or something like that.
Yeah, it was just called something else. And anyway, yeah, that was pretty much my foot in the doorway. And then like as far as like playing shows and stuff, yeah, I would say Prime.
Prime.
Yeah.
What was the first show they put you on?
First show that they put me on. Trying to remember.
Dang, you don't remember your first? I remember my first show.
Yeah.
It was at Sage Room. I don't know if you. It was a different name, but they changed it to the Sage Room.
Okay.
And it was just these promoters. I think Elevate Promotions and Next Level Promotions or something like that. One of my homies, he knows the guy who runs all those companies, Wes Trimble.
Yeah.
Shout out Wes. He gave me my first opportunity DJing, and I was like so nervous, man. I'm talking about I was like, because I'd only had the Tractor S4 for maybe a couple months at that point, and I was messing around, and I figured it out. I figured out how to just do transitions, because at the end of the day, that's really all it is. You just transition from song to song in a smooth way. But yeah, so I go up there. I'm nervous, and I think I was the first guy, maybe the second guy. And it turns out, like, out of nowhere, I don't know what I was playing, but these girls started getting on top of the DJ booth and started shaking their ass.
Yeah. And
that's when I knew that I was like, oh, okay, I got something. Yeah. Like, this is my first time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but you can't remember your first time, man?
No.
What is the most memorable time, earliest?
I would say Sango.
I remember that.
Yeah,
I remember that. You played Young Good?
Yeah.
Oh, bruh. I was like, this guy knows what's up. Because I was going there for Sango. I didn't know Junk Food.
Yeah.
And you're in there. And I remember you, like, it was like almost like a moment. You made it a moment to play that song.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay, yeah, this guy knows what's up, man. It's crazy, man. How did you even get that show? Because, selection only comes every now and then. So how did you get that?
Yeah, it's like just networking. Talking to promoters and stuff, and also actually like helping them out with like promo stuff, like flyers and just like promoting events and stuff that they're throwing, and like.
You're a graphic artist?
No.
Oh, you're just saying like just literally
handing out flyers at shows. Like, okay, the show's about to go out. Let's go with the stack and just like hand them out as people walk out and stuff like that. And
damn.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
it just one thing led to another.
Yeah, pretty much. They're like, yeah, we see that you DJ and stuff. Help us out. Help you out, kind of thing. And that's pretty much. Yeah, that was probably the first show I did for Banjos to Beats. Yeah. Shout out Josh and Amanda.
Yeah. That's awesome, man. So whenever you're on stage and you get that type of feeling, does that contribute to you wanting to create music itself, or were you a producer before you DJ'd?
No. What's crazy about my thing is I was a DJ first that got into producing. I would say after maybe a couple years of DJing, because the way I saw it, I kind of just seen it as like a potluck or something. Like everybody's bringing their food to the table, and I'm just eating everyone else's food, and I want to bring some to the table too. So I'm just like, all right, let me start making some music and stuff. I want to, make music that I want to hear and play. So yeah, DJing inspired my production, and it's like vice versa.
Okay, so you just bounce off it at this point. What was the first song that you made, and because you've sent me some songs from way back, and I feel like your style has evolved a lot.
Yeah.
What was the song where you like, oh, this is Junk Food sound, like this is it?
I got some old school like Dallas twerk acapellas. And I just threw drums over them, like Miami bass, like 2 Live Crew style drums. And I was like, this is it. Like, I love this. Like,
dang. Yeah. Okay. And then whenever you played it out, you got that reaction that you wanted.
Yeah. I started getting responses from DJs in like Miami and like Cali and stuff. And they're like, yeah, we play your music and it goes off and stuff. And that song wasn't even mastered, but they still played it in the club. Like, okay,
Hey,
all right,
all right, if
I'm
it
on to
works.
something. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Mhm.
awesome, man. Damn. Okay. Well, where are you from? Because you said you started DJing after you moved up here. So
Mhm.
you had was it Houston,
Yeah,
right?
Houston, Texas.
Okay. What area? Because I used to live in Houston also.
I lived all over, but before I left, I was living in Cyprus.
Okay,
Mhm.
Cyprus. Yeah, I lived in I think it was Alief,
Okay.
and I also lived in Houston proper. Like I went to HIS. I was in
Yeah.
HISD, like
Same.
West Briar. I don't know if you know that high school, or I think it might be middle school. West Side High School. That's where I went to high school at.
Okay.
So it's
Houston
cool.
is big as hell.
Bruh.
Houston is so big.
It's
So,
huge.
yeah.
It's huge. I remember living there, and I'm like, but you know, whenever I was living there, I was young. It was like, you know, up until I was spaced out, so
Mhm.
I was living there till maybe 7th grade. Moved
Mhm.
up here, then moved back down there.
Yeah.
In 9th grade, and it's like a different world almost. I feel like compared to up here, you know,
Mhm.
over here it's just you got two spots. You got Dallas and Fort Worth. You know, I'm living in between both of them.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like I can go here and here, and there's a little bit of a divide, kind of. I feel like Dallas kind of doesn't want to, you know, embrace Fort Worth, and Fort Worth like, Dallas is whack, kind of.
Yeah. It seems like Texas, Austin, and Dallas are like that. Or I
Yeah.
mean, Texas, Austin, Houston, Dallas are like
Yeah.
all like, yeah. Houston sucks,
Mm.
Austin sucks, whatever. Dallas, and then people are like, Dallas sucks. You know?
Yeah, no, in Houston, bro, they talk so much shit about Dallas. Like, bro,
God.
Dallas is trash.
I have family who refuse to come up here because they hate Dallas so much. Like, come on.
Yo, they refuse to come over here.
Yeah.
Yo, that's crazy. Hell no. But
Yeah.
growing up there, it was really different, and it showed me a lot of, you know, a different type of culture,
Mhm.
because Houston is very, very proud,
Mhm.
and I feel like Dallas is very proud, but it's still very dividing. It's very like, I'll tell the story of whenever I first started wanting to DJ,
Mhm.
and I'm not gonna say his name, but there was a DJ he was doing local shows. You know, he was at the bars or whatever, and you know, I just want to, you know, hey, you know, what's how do I even get started? Just tell
Mhm.
me how I even get started.
Yeah.
And he didn't really even respond. Like, it was like a real short answer,
Mhm.
and I was like, dang, okay. I mean, you know, I was just asking, you know, just for a little bit of
Mhm.
advice.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it felt like he was thinking of a lack mentality, like, as in like, well, this guy's coming to take my spot. And I feel like that happens a lot. You know, it happens a lot. Have you ever felt any resistance like that?
I've yet to feel the wrath of any like DJ egos.
Oh,
I
wow.
would say, yeah, I feel like I'm pretty lucky with that. I don't
Mhm.
know, but yeah, that's definitely a thing,
Mhm.
and it's just funny to me because we just play music. We don't cure cancer.
Yeah.
We're not fighting crime. Like, we're
Bruh.
not like I mean, we play music and we give people a good time.
Mhm.
But I'm just saying it's not worth having like such a, you know, you're not a god. you know,
Yeah,
like,
man. And whenever they just they shun you, I get not shun you, but they blow you off because
Mhm.
of where you're at in their eyes, you
Mhm.
know.
Mhm.
Because you, at the end of the day, you don't really know who you're talking to. I like to give opportunities to people that I see it, you
Mhm.
know, that I can tell, okay, he's making an effort, a
Mhm.
real effort
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
get out here.
Mhm.
Okay, let me hook him up then.
Yeah.
You know, and that goes with anybody, really.
Mhm.
It goes, I can know you since junior high. I can know you from 3 years ago,
Yeah.
and I'm still gonna, if I can tell you're a genuine person, and
Yeah.
you're really trying to work towards something, then
Mhm.
yeah, I got you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like you can tell when people are in this for the music and
Mhm.
if they're in this because there's some other bullshit, you know, like,
Mhm.
oh, they just want to get girls or drugs or free booze or whatever, and it's
Mhm.
like, I love playing music, I love making music. You know, you
Mhm.
can read that in other people. You know, you
Oh,
can
yeah.
hear their passion when they talk about something they like or have been jamming lately or something. They're like, you know, obsessing over.
Speaking of that, who you been listening to lately?
A lot of rap music. Also, but other stuff too, but mainly rap music.
Yeah, well, like who specifically?
Um, Valet.
Yeah, his flow is hot right
Yeah, Valet. A lot of Cardi. Nudie, Young Nudie.
now. Young Nude, I might have
Nudie
heard
is-
maybe one of his songs. I can't remember who that guy is.
Yeah, he's fire. He's 21 Savage's cousin.
Okay.
I think I think they're like literally related.
Wow.
But yeah, no, he's fire.
Mhm.
Nudie, who else?
Like, what is that? What's that first thing that you just like right now, today? What's that first thing you just? Oh, I gotta put this on.
I played "Who Got the Smoke" by Lil Yachty this morning.
Wow,
Literally,
wow.
I like Take Keith, man. Like,
Bro, I mean, and the thing about it is that his flow. I mean, his beats are not too crazy. You know,
Mhm,
they have little elements, but it ain't like
Mhm.
rocket science. But he's out there.
It's kind of like trap DJ Mustard. Like, it's very
Mm.
like 2 or 3 notes.
Yeah.
But it bangs and it makes people dance. And yeah, I would. That's like a whole different convo.
no, yeah.
Okay,
Go in on
so
it.
Yeah. I mean, you don't have to be when it comes to music production. I feel like you don't have to be the most technical, the most clean. Like, you can, as long as the music is good, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you didn't master it or if it's not mixed like correctly. You know, if the music is good, then it works.
Yeah.
And when it comes to guys like DJ Mustard or like Take Keith, who like I literally listened to get up this morning, you know, it just works. It makes people dance. You know, it gives them everything they need. 3 notes, something catchy, and then just banging beats and, you know, banging drums. And it just has that energy, that tag. His tag is so hard.
Yeah. Yeah.
I get hype when I hear that. Like, I don't know.
No, yeah, for sure. For me, I was talking to Caption and all them off air, and we were just talking about like what the music that they make right now. I was telling them the music that y'all make, it's kind of like showing off at this point. Like you're making music for other producers to be like, wow, how did he do that?
Yeah, there's a lane for it, you know?
Because at the shows, I mean, they do go off sometimes, but after a while, you gotta get that feeling, that just turn up feeling, you know. And it could be 3 notes. It could be sometimes some of his songs. It's just bass, like nonstop. It's just
it doesn't cut out.
It's just bass. There's nothing else.
Yeah.
So I understand that, and I've changed my sound to more so go for that than go for the crazy synth and the resonance is like this and he had this fit, you know. It's like that's really dope.
That's good. Yeah, it's like getting lost in the sauce, you know what I mean? It's like you're so focused on making this the craziest, most technical, like jaw breaking song that you forget that you're gonna lose feeling. You're gonna lose the feeling to dance or to emote because you're just thinking so hard about it.
Do you know any instruments?
I dabbled in keyboard.
You know enough to make music for sure, right?
I am the least like music theory. What is it? I suck at reading music.
Okay.
I'm trying to think of the word. You can't like it's when you can't read. Illiterate.
Oh.
I'm the music theory. Like I'm like music theory illiterate pretty much.
Okay, got you.
But no, I just go by what sounds good to me.
Mm-hmm.
It's been working so far, but I definitely like learning about music theory and stuff. It's still something I want to learn and bring into my production process.
Yeah, no, I was talking the other day with one of my homies, and we were just talking about. Actually, I think it was on this podcast. Tez was talking about like whenever you learn the theory, it kind of puts you in a box. You're not as creative or naive whenever making music, because you might mess around and hit a note, and you might be like, "Oh, that's the note. That's what I was trying to get." I you know, it's just these scales, but it wasn't in the scale. It was supposed to be right here, and this is what I needed. And I kind of missed that because I got into very, very like. I was like, it got to be like this. These are the set chord progressions and blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? And now I want to try and just have fun with it. But on top of that, with what I'm trying to do, I got to have the knowledge because I almost want to musically notate everything in my head. Just be able to go to a keyboard or whatever and hear what I'm thinking and play it
Mm-hmm.
You know, just finally get it out. Because
Yeah.
sometimes it's hard and it's tedious whenever you're going through and you're clicking and you're not, you know, you can't find it and, you know, like, it doesn't sound like how you
Yeah.
had it in your head, so you
Yep.
get discouraged, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So I really want to get in on that. But I like how a lot of, especially like we were watching the video with Murder Beats, and he only knows how to play the black notes.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah. So does DJ Mustard.
Yeah, and you know what I'm saying? And these guys are wearing like Cuban links iced out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They driving these crazy cars.
Yeah.
They're with Drake and the Migos.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm over here trying to find, you know, this crazy, you
Yeah.
know, thing going on and doing this crazy synth. And I'm over here, you know, I don't got no links or nothing like that.
Yeah.
I mean, that not to say that I'm doing it for money, but that's just where the money's at right now, you know?
And it's cool. You can always learn something from stuff like social media and like just other producers and stuff. Like you said, like Murder Beats.
Mm-hmm.
You know, even if like the beats aren't always there, he knows how to promote himself. And that's something I can like learn. I learn from like everybody and just seeing how people maneuver like with like promoting themselves and branding their music and their lifestyle and stuff like that.
Got you. So is that more so the route that you would want to go? Is you want to be a brand, not just I'm Junk Food the DJ or you know, you want to be all around. Because I know you're on Twitch and you're, you know, you play Fortnite, right? Is that the main game?
every now and then I'll play Fortnite. It's been a while since I've done it actually, but yeah, when I get back into it, mainly production streams and then like gaming too.
What games are you on now then? If it's not
right
Fortnite.
now, I'm not streaming it, but I just beat God of War.
Ooh. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't played the new one, but the older ones on PS2 and PS3, God of War 1, 2, and 3. Bro, they need to make movies out of that.
The new one, it definitely should. Actually, I don't think it should be a movie. I think playing it is the experience. Like, it really is something I would say check out if you're into video games.
Yeah.
God of War.
That one's the one that they go the Norse. They do the Norse gods.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know any of the Norse gods. The thing that brought me into the first round of God of War, like the originals, is because I was so into the Greek mythology. Like, I am very heavily into that.
Yeah.
Look up Umair, please. Not young Morpheus. Just look up Morpheus, and see if that's a Greek god. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah. I'll show everybody that. So whenever I first started Dream Child, I did an EP called Young Morpheus, and like I felt like that just was so symbolic because one of my favorite movies, I would say, it is my favorite movie of all time, is The Matrix, and the main dude, one of the main dudes, Lawrence Fishburne, his name is Morpheus. So I didn't even know that was ingrained in me from that age, and that carried on that far. You know, and my aunt is my Tia Mona, she's very into Greek mythology too. So growing up, she has all these crazy fantasy books, and I'm just looking through them like, whoa, like this is dope. You know what I mean? And then you get to play it. You know, God of War. You get to play it.
You get to kill these gods.
You got to kill these fucking gods. Like the first one is he's just trying to get to Ares with the help of the gods. Second one, the gods fuck around and betray him. Then he goes after the gods with the Titans. It's like, bruh, the Titans, dog. And I remember when they first came out, and I was watching the trailer, and you just see Kratos like climbing some trees or something, and it zooms out, and it's Gaia, the Titan, and it's all Earth, and she's just moving, and it's like she's climbing up Mount Olympus, and he's just on her back, and I'm like, oh, it's about to go down. Is that how like the vibe is on that new God of War? Like it's pretty epic.
It is epic in its own way. I would say it's a different change of energy because Kratos is a lot more disciplined and he's a father and it's a lot more mature, but it still has that like adventurous, like epic, like vibe to it, and it's worth checking out, man.
Yeah,
like,
I don't have a PlayStation though.
I would even say run over to someone else's place and play it, like dead ass, like play it.
Okay.
I'm sure they're gonna remaster it whenever the PlayStation 5 comes out, and I think that'll be the best version to play it on because that seems to be the trend is to like remaster older PlayStation games. Yeah, and Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna check that. I'm gonna check that
At
out.
some point, do yourself that favor. No spoilers. Like it's a ride, man. Like it's.
I watched because on IGN they got the first 9 minutes of
Mhm,
God
yeah,
of
that's
War.
fine.
I had
that's
to watch
fine.
it.
But
I
no,
had
it
to.
is
Yeah.
like
It's
a,
up
it's
there.
a ride. It's a ride. Like,
Okay,
go.
I'm gonna definitely check it out. What other games like did you play? Were you a gamer growing up?
Yeah.
What were you in on?
I was a spoiled little boy with my. I had a like handheld consoles and stuff, and I remember having a Super Nintendo.
Mm.
I think that's the first console I remember having, and I would always have like, I don't know, go rent games and stuff.
Yeah.
And
Were you big on like Call of Duty and those type of games?
shooters are fun. Like nowadays, yeah, mainly shooters and like adventure games. I'm not the best or like the most accurate, but I have fun with it. I had a lot of fun with Call of Duty.
Yeah.
Modern Warfare 2, that was my favorite one.
Yeah, I mean I feel like that's the one that everybody. I wasn't Call of Duty. I was more so a Halo dude. I would get mad. I get on Call of Duty.
Yeah.
And on Halo, you got to dump clips into somebody to kill them. You got to basically waste your whole round to kill them.
You got to kill the shield.
Yeah, and then kill them.
Mm-hmm.
With Call of Duty, it's like you're running around. Couple hits, you done. I'm like, what? Pew, pew. Like this is whack.
Yeah.
This is whack. You know. For real. I was like, I'm not playing this, bro.
Yeah.
Like my kill death ratio was like, it was bad. You know.
I feel like if you played Halo, that respawn sound will be stuck in your head, like that boop.
Boop. Yeah.
Beep.
Yeah.
Just the respawn.
Always.
Like yeah. That's an unforgettable sound.
Mm-hmm. Well, speaking of that, you put video game sounds in your right
Yeah,
in your music.
I love video games. I love like 8-bit like video gamey cartoony sounds.
Mm-hmm. So that really inspires you now, like, or not now, but like that's basically where you drew that from. Was from the games back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Okay. What else? What other adventure games did you ever play RuneScape or something like that?
No.
None like WoW or nothing like that?
RuneScape, never played Minecraft, World of Warcraft, never.
So mainly like console games?
Mainly console games, like adventure games, shooters, horror games.
What would you say is the one game? Besides, I mean, I know you're hyped on God of War right now, but what would you say is that one game that really touched you?
Red Dead Redemption.
Oh. So Rockstar, yeah. I mean, you can't go wrong with Rockstar, because they got. I mean, the Red Dead Redemption's about to come out again, right?
Yeah, yeah, part 2.
It's about to come out in a couple months, so that one's gonna be big.
Yeah.
Are you like a movie buff as well, or not?
I enjoy films a lot, but I wouldn't say I'm a movie buff. I'm not as like knowledge in a lot of things. I haven't seen a lot of the big ones.
Classic
but
movies.
I enjoy cinema. I enjoy turning off my phone, just chilling in a movie theater, or I like watch some with my headphones on.
What movies are you mainly interested in? Are you like a superhero guy?
No.
Nah.
I am like 8 movies behind in the Marvel MCU. Yeah. Like the last MCU movie I saw, Iron Man, I think.
Oh yeah, you're way out of there, bro.
That hurt. You felt that one.
Yeah, I'm like, damn, you don't even know what's going on, bro.
Wait, no, Ant-Man. But I didn't watch anything before or after. In between Ant-Man and Iron Man. Yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot.
I know. It's intimidating at this point.
That's a long time, because every movie is like an hour and a half.
I don't.
You gotta watch this. You gotta watch it in order, and this is going on. You gotta look up reviews.
I'm sure it's great, but I can't. I can't afford that time right now.
What are you in on then? What are you in on?
Music.
Well, I'm saying like.
What do you mean?
Movies,
music. Oh, music wise, yeah. Movies wise, horror movies, action movies, comedies.
Specific.
Very okay. Let's see. I just saw Mandy.
Bro, Nicolas Cage.
Mm-hmm.
That one was crazy.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of slow at first. You're like, okay, well, I don't really.
Yeah. It grows on you.
Bruh.
It is. It's a fever dream, is what I would like to call it. It's a fever dream. It really is just like psychedelic, intense.
Bro.
Like.
I highly recommend anybody to watch that movie. But just be ready, because it's very, very intense.
Yeah, just embrace it. Just go all in,
I want to talk about it, but I don't want to. I just told the audience to go, should I talk about it? No, I shouldn't talk about it.
Just let them know that they're in for some shit.
It's wild. It's wild. It's a wild movie.
It's worth it.
Yeah, it's worth the wait. For the last 30 minutes, you're going to be like, oh, God, it's going crazy. What else? What else?
Besides that,
Have you seen Upgrade?
yeah, I saw Upgrade.
So you're one of those
Yeah.
guys. You like the sci-fi type deals, or?
Yeah, I actually got to see a sneak preview of it with at Alamo, and they actually had the director do a Q&A. Like he just popped up, microphone, like
Wow.
answering questions of people in the crowd and stuff.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Wow. So you're one of those guys. You go see like some stuff.
I'm down.
In
Yeah,
the-
I
you
mean, if
know-
I'm interested, like screw it, let's do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What do you think about it?
I liked it honestly. It seemed like people didn't like the action scenes that much.
I thought
Because
they were pretty dope.
I thought they were dope too, and the thing is because most people walked in thinking it was gonna be like a big budget, like AAA like action movie, and then it takes a point to where you're like, this is low budget, like this, and that's
there
when
was
they
a
feel
point.
betrayed, and they're like, oh, everything else is just like whatever.
Yeah.
But I liked it.
You-
The action scenes were choreographed. The random just like senseless violence. Like,
Yeah.
yeah. I'm a fan of prosthetics and stuff like that.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah. I remember watching the movie, and I remember that turning point. I think it was like some gunshots and some blood splattered somewhere, and it was like, I was like, oh, this ain't even like a crazy high budget like great
Yeah.
CGI movie.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
is just guys having fun,
Mhm.
you know.
Yeah, like it has like a B movie quality.
Yeah.
Especially when you blow some, especially when you have like violence like that.
Yeah. And the ending is what really caught me. Like
Mhm.
I thought it was gonna be like okay, this is gonna end cool. You know,
Mhm.
they're gonna figure it out somehow.
Mhm.
So, spoiler alert! If you don't wanna know what happens in the movie, skip like maybe 5 minutes ahead. But anyways,
Jump
so-
to this timestamp.
Yeah, I'm gonna point an arrow or
We'll
something
put
like
it in.
that.
Yeah, put it in post. Okay, all right.
Yeah, that'll be in post. But there was the ending. He actually gets trapped into that simulation, I guess.
Mhm.
And I mean, not a simulation, but he takes over. He breaks that person's ego,
Yeah.
and they're just in limbo.
Yeah.
And he don't even know that it's really a robot. How do you feel about like what? Did you see that Elon Musk Joe Rogan interview?
I've saw maybe like of him just like hitting the
Oh
gas. And
yeah,
then
what
that was
everybody
it.
saw. Yeah.
No, I haven't really had the time to listen to it.
In that podcast, he talks about like the simulation theory and stuff.
Oh,
How do you
really?
feel about that? Like that kind of freaks me out. But what do you think?
I've never. I don't know what that
You don't
is.
know what it is? Okay, so basically, Elon Musk has this strong belief that, like, the odds are saying basically that we are in a simulation. Like,
Mhm.
just based off simple math, like
Mhm.
there's only so many ways this thing can go,
Mhm.
And I was just gonna ask you how you felt about that, but I mean,
About living in a simulation.
yeah, like how would you feel if everything you did was predetermined? I know it's a tough one. Take your time, man. Take your time.
I feel like if I at least get to live the life that I was satisfied with,
Mm-hmm.
then I feel like that's all that matters to me. Even if like it's like predetermined for me to have like a terrible rest of my life.
Mm.
I mean,
That's not gonna happen, by the way. But
yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know, like up or down.
Mhm.
I mean,
Are you a religious person?
mm,
Not really.
I'm open.
Okay.
I'm open. I can't really say this or that isn't real or, this is a stupid thing to believe in because I can learn from so many different things,
Mhm. Yeah, you pull from these stories and these stories.
Mm-hmm.
I don't. That's one thing that I just don't go to church for or anything. I mean, it's just because a lot of it is very closed-minded. A lot of people are closed-minded. They're not open to any other ideas. They think it's their way or the highway.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like nobody really knows. We're all just trying to keep it together at the end of the day.
Yeah.
No matter how clean everybody looks or no matter how satisfied they look in their pictures or anything,
Mm-hmm.
we're all just trying to keep it together, And I feel like you need to really be empathetic for other people because you don't know what they might be going through.
Mm-hmm.
You just
Honestly, yeah. I mean, a little empathy goes a long way, believe it or not. Some people will use their religion as a title of their behavior, like as a justification of their behavior or
Mhm.
of their beliefs. Some people, I don't know, live differently.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I feel like you need to you got to be open at this point, you
Mhm.
know, cuz there's a lot of lies out there and there's a
Mhm.
lot of things that have been told to us that we found out that are not true.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? And these are big things and it's just like, well, what do I believe then? Who do I trust? And at the
Mhm.
end of the day for me, I trust myself.
Mhm.
So I'm gonna just put it all in my hands. Now
Mhm.
I understand there's other powers out there, but let me decide what I want to believe in or how I feel about a certain thing, a certain topic.
Yeah.
You know, but I want to get into who are your inspirations making music? Because a lot of it is dance.
Mhm.
I mean, that's basically it. It's just ass shaking music, really,
Mhm.
for me at least.
Mhm.
Who would you say is your or what are your inspirations? Who are your inspirations?
Diplo.
Mm. Yep.
Mm.
I definitely hear that in your music, by the way.
Oh, thank you. Let's see. Diplo, Pharrell,
Mm.
and DJ Mustard.
We were just talking about that too.
DJ Mustard.
With Diplo, he started off DJing too, right?
Mhm.
And then went to producing.
Mhm.
So that's kind of like that guy that you would like to model a career after. Not saying that you want to follow each footstep, but I'm
Mhm.
saying that the end goal would be to be a Diplo.
Yeah.
To be like, this guy is traveling everywhere, playing his own music, and he's like a legitimate crazy ass DJ.
Mhm. I would say performance wise, and like creative output, wise, like his label, his music. I like how he just has a hit in like pretty much every genre.
Yeah, he does. He does. I didn't even think about that, but he does.
Yeah. I would say he introduced Baile Funk to the masses. Bucky Dungun, MIA,
Yeah.
Baile Funk, and
Yeah,
that was a
wow.
huge song.
Wow. Yeah, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah. Look at Me Now. I mean,
Yeah,
people
that-
still sample. People still sample that track. And
Yeah. Wow.
yeah, he has a cool little spectrum, man. Like
Major Lazer too. He has
yeah.
a whole nother, and then he has Jack U. Like
yeah,
that guy's iconic, man. That guy's what?
yeah,
Like,
yeah. Just hits, man, and great DJ.
Mhm.
Honestly, I still enjoy listening to his sets.
Mm.
I haven't really caught any of like his recent like festival sets or stuff like that, but I enjoy his Diplo and Friends.
You were on there. You were on there. How did it feel to be on there?
Felt really cool. I've never would think that I would hear my music on a show that I listen to,
Mm-hmm.
and to see my name on the BBC website. Shout out to Wookie,
Yeah.
big man, like for real. Yeah.
Is he he's supported your music like by tweeting it too, right? Or like he's actually he's a really supportive dude, right?
Yeah. Wookie's a man for sure.
Did you play a show for him? You opened up for him or something like that, or what happened?
No. He came recently and played a really dope set. It was freaking awesome, and it was cool meeting him.
Oh, you
Yeah.
met him? That's awesome.
Yeah.
Who else have you met? Like who's another big name that you've met or interacted with?
And I don't know. As far as like the DJ production game,
Mm-hmm.
I know Sean Dream.
Hey, we out you. We out you.
Yeah. I don't know.
Did you come to us on that Houston trip? You were there, right, or no?
Houston trip. What are we talking about?
It's like Medicine Hotel.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I was in town visiting family, and y'all were in town for that show. Yeah.
Yeah, we were there. We were trying to, and this is how way back we all go.
Give him the whole.
Yeah. So we're in Houston, and me and Medicine have a show together, and we go out and kill it. We're really there though because I guess there was a festival. I think it's something wonderful, something wicked,
Something wicked. Yeah.
something wicked. It was in Houston, big a big festival, and we were there, and it rained out.
Yeah.
And it was,
Flooded.
I'm talking about,
Flooded.
and Houston rain, they don't play over there. So it's flooded like inches. And, you know, Junk Food. We get a text from Junk Food. Hey, I'm in town. You know, what's up? What are y'all trying to do? And I'm like, hey, come through.
Actually, I knew that y'all were playing.
Oh,
And
you did?
I got my RSVP'd and everything. I was like, hey, dead ass. Like, for real. Like,
Whoa,
I
okay.
made it an outing. Like, I knew it was going to be in Houston. I was like, okay, I'm definitely going. I RSVP'd for that.
Wow.
Like,
Wow.
yeah.
Okay, yeah, that is right. Yeah, that is right. And so we go back to the hotel. Yeah, you were asking us what we're doing afterwards, I think. And we're like, yeah, we're going to go back to that
Yeah.
hotel. And this guy, he's seen the Sean Dream clan. He sees it. He's seen it
whole
full.
squad. Just
The whole
deep.
squad. The whole
Oh.
squadded out. And I'm talking about, you know, like Rolly Dizelle, 36, all the real homies. Tony,
Mm.
you know, and Medicine's there, and we're all just vibing
Yeah.
in Houston,
Mhm.
and it's flooded out in a hotel.
Mhm.
And those are the moments that I'll never forget.
Yeah.
You know? And I'm like, I remember at the pop-up too, and I was talking to you and Darren Redex, dope producer as well. Shout out
Shout
him.
out, Darren. Yep.
We were just talking, and we're, you know, I was just telling him, like, I want to build a community of this.
Mhm.
Like, this is what we're supposed to
Mhm.
do. You
Mhm.
know, with like, why I know this person. Let me piece it all together. Let me plug it up. You know,
Mhm.
and I feel like we, like, this is gonna be monumental
Mhm.
almost. Like all these podcasts, especially this one. You
Mhm.
know, I think people are gonna look back on it and be like, damn, like
Mhm.
this was one of those podcasts
Yeah.
that, wow, it changed everything.
Change the game.
Like,
Changing the game.
yeah, I mean, like not in a, just in an impactful sense, like
Mm-hmm.
like Sean Dream and Junk Food got a what, and they, you know,
Legendary.
yeah, I think we got to take it into account and live in the moment sometimes, because looking back on all these moments that we've had is just crazy, you know.
Yeah.
What is one of those shows that you played that you were like, okay, yeah, this is it.
Miha at It'll Do.
Ooh,
So It'll Do is a like legendary house and techno venue in Dallas,
okay.
and it's been open for a long time.
Mhm.
I told my family about this show when I got booked for it, and my grandma was like, "It'll Do is still there,"
What?
and I'm like. Yeah, she goes, yeah, they used to have like Tejano bands. It was like a Mexican bar. Yeah, they would play freestyle, and they would have Tejano bands. And she told me she would just get wasted. It'll do.
At It'll Do.
Yeah, and so I'm like, wow, like
And
know.
that's like some full circle type shit. I bet
Yeah.
your grandma was like,
Mm-hmm.
wait, my grandson is playing It'll Do. I remember going there and getting fucked up,
Yeah.
you know, back in my day.
Mhm.
And this was playing there.
Yeah.
Wow. So how was the crowd, and like how was the show?
It was great. What's cool about Miha is that she's also very open format when she DJs. Like you don't know what she's gonna play, but you know it's gonna be good. And that's like the style that I applied like to my sets too. Is you're gonna get a bunch of different things. It's all gonna be good, and you know you're just gonna go with it.
Yeah.
Go all in.
You don't want people to go to a Junk Food set and already know what you're about to play. Basically.
I mean, besides my songs and maybe like I don't know, yeah.
Mhm.
Maybe like certain edits or something,
Yeah.
like, or like things that they would know that I would only have or play.
Oh, got
Yeah,
you.
but other than that, I mean, they're just gonna know that they're in for a good time.
Mm. So whenever you were playing that show, that like that was that one that you were like, it brought something out of you almost. Because I'll tell
Yeah.
you, for me, because there was a time span where I played a show maybe once a month, and that's like for like 4 or 5 months, and that's big for me because I don't really play that many shows.
Yeah.
You know, y'all are out there killing it, and y'all live in Dallas. I'm in Fort Worth, so for me, it's like a drive, and I just, I'm like, whatever.
Yeah.
But during this time, I played this show called No Sleep. And
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, I know you remember that. You were there. You performed.
Yeah.
And that was the one for me that really set it off, because it was the vibe that I wanted. I want those warehouse house party vibes. You know, I want to be able to play whatever I want. I want everybody going crazy, and I want the lights off. You know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's just dope that way. And that feeling that it gave me, it really pushed me to, it showed me that I could do something like this. You know, a lot of my friends were there on top of that. So whenever I did perform and I left, like, and I saw all the people that were with me, it like that was reaffirmation. You know what I mean? Like I got it. You know, because we did a Junk Food and Friends. Yeah, yo, yo. I was talking about the one with Evolved Minds. I forgot we even did a Junk Food and Friends, and you allowed us to do that booth.
Yeah.
That was
perfect.
an awesome.
Great night too.
That was a great night too. Like, man.
Yeah. It would have been better if you would have blessed us with the set, but that we can yeah.
Yeah. Oh no, that's gonna happen in time.
Yeah.
Who was it? Who was it that performed? I know. Was it you?
Shout out, Young Ursa Minor. Shout out
her.
Very Wavy.
Yep. Shout out her.
Shout out Darren Red X.
Shout out him.
Shout out me.
Yeah. That was a fire ass lineup.
Yeah.
And I remember Braden was there. Whereas Alex.
It was cool, man. It was a real homie vibe, you know. It was just like seeing like family you haven't seen in a long time. Hey, it was good.
Yeah.
It was good. Real chill vibe. It was very loungy. It was cool. You know.
Is it something that you would want to pursue in the future, promoting?
At this time,
events.
Not really. So, but I do enjoy the idea of booking my friends and giving them the space to play what they want.
Yeah.
And you know, people still talk about that to me to this day. Like, man, I miss Junk Food and Friends because they had, you know, they're surrounded by, you know, their friends and family,
like-minded individuals,
and exactly that too. And they're playing everything that they want and they feel accepted for it. They don't, you know, they're not watering themselves down or feel like they have to play this or have to play that. Yeah.
Do you hate when people put regulations on what you got to play? Or you take it as a challenge?
For the most part, I mean, no, I don't really see it as a challenge, but I do like being able to play whatever I want. Because I believe in my skill as a DJ.
For sure.
Know? And for someone to like say like, oh, you can't do this or you can't do that, it's them like questioning my craft or.
I feel like that. Yeah, whenever you're DJing, it's your ear. You're displaying your ear to a crowd of people to listen to what you like to listen to and see how they react and see if they like it. And I feel like whenever you book a DJ, you should allow them to do that.
Yeah.
Because that's what you're paying them for. You're paying them for what they listen to.
Yeah.
You know, if you want to listen to certain things, here's your phone. You know, here's the outlet, and put on Pandora.
Yeah.
You know,
I feel like that would have to be something to do with the promoter more, because they would have to know who they're booking to play with whatever show, and if they fit the bill anyway. It's like, say they tell the promoter, hey, don't book anybody who plays trap. Like, okay, cool. What house DJs do I know? Okay, cool. I'm gonna book them because they're not gonna play that.
Yeah.
As opposed to like, let me get the trap producer and tell him not to play trap. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. That's true. That's true. Have you ever had anybody be like, nah, we can't have you play this. Hey, you need to keep it at this level.
I opened for DJ Craze maybe like three years ago. Maybe two or three. But they asked him, hey, do you want they asked me something about playing bangers. They asked him something about playing bangers, and he says he can have at it, but don't get too carried away or something like that. And I was like, I mean, I normally don't play the bangers anyway. I play my bangers, like the bangers. You know what I mean? But no, it worked out fine. That was a great night. He shouted me out on Twitter. That was cool.
What's up.
Well,
I remember that too.
Yeah, that was sick. Shout out DJ Craze. Still one of my favorite DJs.
I have a funny story about him. He wanted one of my tracks, Relax, and he DM'd me on SoundCloud.
Yeah.
And at the time, I was trying to hold myself. You know, my mom would always be on me talking about you need to hold yourself to your standard of value. You know, you keep lowering yourself. Yeah. Oh, this is my way. This is my price to book me or whatever. Yeah. So I was on that tip.
Yeah.
And this fool messages me, hey man, is there any way I can get a download of Relax? And me thinking like I need to start monetizing my crowd. I'm like, hey man, yeah, you can go to Bandcamp and buy it. Didn't respond, and I was like, I thought about it, and I was like, dude, this is DJ Craze I'm talking to.
Yeah.
This is one of the most legendary DJs of our time. You know, like he's a living legend. You know, and I'm over here telling them go to my Bandcamp to get a song. I should have just, you know what I mean? And looking back on it, I feel so dumb. Shout out DJ Craze.
Yeah, shout out DJ Craze. Shout out the turntablist community, man. Like, all right, I'm gonna go down my
Go
DJ.
ahead.
My
Hey,
DJ
man, go
limits.
ahead.
All right, shout out DJ Leo J, DJ JC,
Leo J, man, true OG.
DJ Spadis, DJ Fuka. Shout out Two Tone Crew, Trill Wave.
These are all turntablists.
Yeah,
Like,
I would
okay.
say, yeah, I would say so.
They actually scratch. They
yeah,
actually
the
have
real
vinyl.
deal. Like they came from vinyl.
Yeah.
No controller stuff like.
How do you feel about that? How do you feel about that divide? That turntable. Vinyl to controller.
I feel like it doesn't really matter, but it helps to be knowledgeable and different things just in case. Because a part of DJing is improvising. Say your gear doesn't work. Oh, what do y'all got? CDJs? Okay, cool. I got my thumb drive. What is that? Serato? Okay, cool. I downloaded that just in case this happened or some shit, you know?
Yeah.
And being able to adapt. But as long as you get the party going and you know what you're doing, I mean, I don't think your equipment defines a DJ.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's specifically what I was trying to get into. Because there are turntablists that look down. They frown upon people using controllers. That's what I meant by the divide. Like, how do you feel about that right there? Because I know that happens a lot in the DJ community. You know, they look at you like, what? Just put on a scratch or whatever.
Well, I don't think it's fair to judge a DJ by what they see as opposed to what they hear.
Yeah.
It's okay. Well, just close your eyes and listen to what he's
shit.
playing, listen to transitions, or listen to what sounds good. Okay, cool. All right, But I do think it is important to try, to learn on as many things as you can, but not completely, totally like worth shaming someone over.
Yeah, I feel like controllers. I mean, it's technology. We don't see us out here still using flip phones and using I mean, now a lot of people use film cameras to get a certain look, but I don't see us using older technology on purpose.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes there's certain feels that you want to get, like maybe from an analog instrument or something like that. But you shouldn't shame somebody for what they use to get their art up.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't know why that even happens. You know, it's just it sounds like a lot of bitterness. A lot of resentment.
It's a little bit of insecurity. That's what I really feel like it is. Why would you judge DJs by what they use and not how they sound? I don't care. Like, does it sound good? Does it not sound good?
And that brings up another question, like what even classifies a DJ? Because I really couldn't even consider myself a DJ. I would consider myself just a selector.
Yeah.
And Ursa Minor, she put me on to like calling herself a selector. So I was like, oh, I want to do that too.
Yeah.
But what would you say classifies that?
I feel like the term selector is really cool because it comes from like dancehall culture is what it seems like to me.
Yeah,
picking just records, no mixers, just one, turntable. But I feel like a DJ in 2018 could be a lot of different things. I mean, what do you tell someone when they're in the passenger seat? What do you ask them? Hey, do you want a DJ or hey, do you want to put someone on?
Yeah,
Like,
that's true. That's true.
They call themselves like, oh yeah, I'm DJ, man. Like, I got you.
Okay.
And I don't know. You're still playing music. I mean, you may or may not be taking account who's in the car with you or whatever, but I feel like that's something a DJ does too.
It's more so
But they're not gonna title themselves outside of the vehicle a
I
DJ.
got you.
But I don't know. I'm pretty loose with it.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna be like, you're not a real DJ. You don't have this or that.
Have you ever dealt with any like shady promotion? Any shady promoters? Not really.
Not really. No. Not anything that I feel like is totally like shady, because there are different business practices and stuff for promoters, and I don't know. I mean, they do what they do, and I do the same. You know what I mean? If I don't agree with what they're doing, I'm not gonna say it's shady. I'm just gonna say like that's not something I'm gonna do.
I got you.
Yeah.
You're more so out on it rather than just dealing with the shadiness. Yeah. I mean, whenever I was DJing, there was a little shadiness going on, and I didn't like that, so that's why I kind of just secluded myself. Really.
Yeah.
you know, and it sucks that it has to be that way because money, you know, I don't like money just it comes with problems. I feel like a lot of people are just trying to find their way out, and it just so happens that say you got the talent, but hey, I need the money, and you know, and I don't really like that. I don't. It's more you gotta find a balance, and you gotta hold some type of integrity for me at least. You know, I'm doing this out of I'm doing this out of the love. I'm doing this out of to help everybody, because without me, then there is no show. Or not. I'm not saying me specifically, but I'm saying anybody, like the artists themselves. I feel like they should be catered to. It shouldn't be out here that you gotta figure out who's the right person to work with or whatever. You know, it's like, man, come on, man.
Yeah, it gets lost in the sauce.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, just lost in the sauce again. So what's up with Chuck E. Cheese? You fuck with Chuck E. Cheese?
I love pizza. I love Chuck E. Cheese. Yeah. Catch me opening for the band. That I was playing.
Yo, the Chuck E. Cheese band.
Yeah, they go hard.
Hell yeah. How did you get the name Junk Food? Like, what came? How did that come about?
There's two different stories.
Okay.
Initially, getting out of high school, I would say like my senior year, like towards the end of my senior year, I made friends with this guy, and I'm not gonna say his name, but anyway, so we had a lot in common stuff musically, and we would always like share music and stuff, and pass records back and forth and stuff like that. Put each other onto new artists and things, and we listened to a bunch of different stuff. Eventually, when I started DJing, I started listening to more like club music, like more rap and more party stuff, you know. So one day my friend sits me down and he's like, dude, the stuff you listen to, it's like junk food. You could have it every now and then, but it's not good for you in the long run. And
damn.
I was like, I love junk food, though.
So, hey, that works out for me.
Yeah, so I was like, I like that name, and so I kept it. But also, junk food is a play on words. It's food for your junk, because I make booty music. I make junk food.
Ooh, double entendre. I see how you flip that. I like that. That's what's up.
Yeah. Wow.
Okay. So then, whenever you're coming up with a name, how like, did it just flow out and you were just like, like it came out and you were like, that's it. It just clicked with you.
Yeah. I had another name before. It was Bear Tracks.
Bear Tracks. Okay.
Yeah, that was when I was making when I was playing like dubstep and stuff. I was like really heavy into bass music, and I figured that's all I was gonna want to play. And so yeah, Bear Tracks was my name for that time. But then I like that junk food is just more open. You know, it's more ambiguous. Like junk food, like what is that? I'm gonna see what that is. You know.
And everybody knows junk. Like everybody knows what junk food is. You know. It's always those things that we want but we can't have. Yeah. It's like, damn, some Reese's sound good right now. It's junk food though. But still, it sounds good. I'm going to eat it. You know, I'm going to figure it out. You know, that's just a dope, I feel like that's just a dope image for you. Yeah. You know, it just works out. And I don't know if you know, but a lot of people, I think that what goes on is that you're one of those people that they can count on to, oh, junk food's playing, we good. Yeah. You know? Yeah. They can start to trust your opinion on stuff. As far as musicality and music selection goes on these DJ shows. Yeah. Did you ever feel like, man, I might have to just not, I can't go this route. I gotta switch it up. Did you ever like feel any like that you weren't good enough at one point? Did you feel any of that?
Yeah, that's what actually put off me playing shows a lot earlier. It was just like me like feeling like not sufficient enough for some reason. A lot of insecurity. Yeah. It was just like, I don't think I'm good enough, or whatever. And then I would see maybe someone else open and be like, I probably could have done a better job.
Yeah, that's how it always goes.
Eventually it's like, okay, yeah, put me on, like screw it. Like what's what I got to lose. And it was like that for a minute though. Like I would pretty much take like any booking, because I feel like I could open for a lot of different people, like Toki Monster, Sango, DJ Craze, Miha,
All different vibes.
like different, like, you know,
Mhm.
different kinds of music. But I love a lot of different styles of music, so I can,
Mhm.
like, you know, cater to whatever crowd or whatever the vibe is there.
Mhm.
But I mean, now I would say I have my own sound and like would cater like my bookings or whatever my shows towards
Mhm.
that.
Yeah. What would you say is next for you?
Got a pretty big release in November. Can't say it until it's unannounced, but it's really awesome, and I'm really looking forward to it.
Ooh.
Yeah, yeah.
Is that the one that you were talking about on Twitter today or yesterday? That you were like, "Oh, I got this song. It's kind of weird. I want to. I
Oh
want to
no
play
no
it."
no,
Oh, that's a new one.
that one's fresh. Yeah,
Okay.
that one's not spoken for, but
Mhm.
I'm excited.
Wow. Any so besides that, any like full length projects, maybe collaborations you're working with, like
Yeah,
people that
yeah.
you're working with?
I'm working on a collab right now, which is that song that I tweeted about, the weird
Mhm.
one. Shout out Michael Swank, Emmy Swank. He's
Mhm.
a dope singer from
Mhm.
Houston.
Okay.
Based in Austin. He's super dope. He's a singer and he DJs and produces now.
Okay. You're gonna just show me that song
He's
after
sick.
this.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wanna hear
I'm
it.
curious. I am
Yeah.
really curious. Yeah.
Man. Oh, and then I remember you had a little duo with Quantize
Yeah. Shout out
and Cozy
Quan.
Boys.
Head ass.
Do y'all still make music together? Because I feel like y'all were on a roll for a while now.
Nah, I haven't seen Homeboy in a minute. He seems like he's busy and stuff, but you
Mm.
know, knowing Quan, he's always kicking, he's always cooking up. You
Yeah.
know,
Mhm.
can't get that motherfucker away from his laptop, like for real. Like he'll be in his
Damn.
car waiting for me, like with the aux cord plugged into the laptop,
Mhm.
making beats in it. Like wow,
Bruh,
like dedication, dog. Shout out
yeah.
Quan.
Shout out Quan. Shout out Quan. Any other DJs that you really rock with right now in the local
Mm.
scene?
Yeah, man, we have I feel like there's so much talent in the city.
Yeah.
So much.
How do we change it?
Producers,
How do
DJs.
we figure it out?
Communication. That's mainly it. You know, relationships, promoters, DJs, and producers, and I don't know.
There's just so much ego though, man, and I hate that. I
Mhm.
really do hate how much ego there is involved in all these things. It's like there's enough bread for everybody. Like Dallas
Yeah.
is untapped.
It,
you
it's
think
so
about
much
it.
bigger than Dallas. Like the world is way bigger than the
Bro.
culture, people. Like there's so
Mhm.
much more out there, and when people realize that they can be in the same state and play in two different
Mhm.
cities or something like
Yeah.
that, like
It don't matter. It's not that. Yeah, it's way bigger than Dallas.
But beyond that, like put your ego aside and
for
like
sure.
you know, you can learn from literally anybody. Learn from somebody worse than you, learn from somebody better than you, older, younger, it doesn't matter, you
Mhm.
know? And I don't know, you never know. You never know what can happen when you put your pride and your ego aside and
Mhm.
just become a student again.
Yeah, that's the best part. That's what I just went into
Mhm.
with my career as far as music goes. I was really like, I figured out these blocks or whatever, like I was saying, and now I went back into student mode. Let me learn why this sounds like this. Why does this sound so good? Or why do I like these notes? Why do I like this scale? You know, I was cause I live in Fort Worth, and I go out there to 7th Street, and they're all top 40 DJs.
Mhm.
And I was wondering your thoughts on if I were to make or any one of us for that matter that have the type of ear that we have, would that be able to thrive in the night scene in ours? I mean, at least in Fort Worth, because over there, I mean, y'all got Blue and y'all got a lot of like Darren, they got residencies.
Mhm.
But in an area like my area where it's all top 40 DJs, do you even think people would want to even hear, like they would even want to step into a bar and I'm playing like some Mr. Carmack?
Depends.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what the demographic is looking like on 7th Street on the weekends. Is it
It's
older
more so a
people,
college.
younger?
It's a college
Okay.
thing.
Are they on SoundCloud? Maybe.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
are they on YouTube on the trap station? You know,
Mm.
maybe they heard your song and they're related, or you
Yeah.
know, on autoplay. Maybe
Mhm.
if they have access to the same things that you're just putting your music out on, then
Mhm.
maybe you know.
Yeah.
We're in a playlist generation where you'll hear Mr. Brightside, and then next song is like Chief Keef or 21 Savage or something.
True.
And they, you know, it just
100%.
works. And so you never know.
Mhm.
You really never know. And I feel like SoundCloud producers and SoundCloud producers are like producers of that sound are top 40. Now look at Graves.
Yeah.
Or like look at people who produce for, you know, like Bryson Tiller or I'm trying to think who else right now. Yeah.
Yeah, they
know what I mean.
Yeah, they got a lot of people coming out. I mean, Brass Tracks had that song with Chance the Rapper, blew up.
Huge.
And these are guys that we knew off of, you know, SoundCloud.
Yeah.
And it's crazy to see that. So, you know, I it's just I'm so timid on that because I don't want to go and then there's like nobody that shows up, nobody likes the music. But we'll see. We'll figure it out.
Who knows? Maybe there'll be 3 or 4 people at the bar chilling, and you know, you never know. They might walk away and like try to like do research on the music that you played or ask you about this music or something. I don't know.
Yeah, it's worth a shot. It's worth a shot. When you're in that type of scene, who are you looking at that are the leaders of that are up and coming? That are inspiring you right now? Who would you say that?
That are inspiring me?
Because I feel like right now in Dallas, there's a lot of people, and there's a lot of people DJing and all that stuff. And I like what Medicine's doing. I like what Braden's doing, and I feel like we need to all come together at some point. You know, I don't know. It's just that there's so much more we could accomplish at this point.
Yeah, I feel like there's a disconnect because people, I wouldn't say all producers, but a lot of them are very introverted. They're used to being in their room, making music, headphones on, you know, and
stepping out is a tough thing to do.
Yeah, collaboration and stuff like that it's different. It's a different thing. It's a social thing.
Yeah,
but yeah, I mean. Yeah,
that makes it definitely tough. I didn't even see that perspective. I didn't even think about that perspective. Are you into like sports or anything like that? Nah?
No, not really. No.
What are you big on right now? What are you going on YouTube to look up?
Tutorials. Ableton tutorials mainly. Yeah. Shout out Ableton Live 10. Gang.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm watching tutorials. Video game stuff.
You got to make it your life, man. It's a lifestyle at this point.
It is. It really is. I'm glad I beat God of War. I did that on purpose so I can go on with my life. No, for real, like facts.
Yeah, no, for sure, facts. You could get addicted to those type of games because the story's just that amazing.
Yeah. So I laid it to rest, and now I'm back on my bullshit with the music.
Hey, back on his bullshit. Well, I wanted to thank you for coming on the 005 podcast.
Thank you
for having me. It was a great talk. Go ahead and let people know where they can find you at.
At Junk Food DJ, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Moco Space, SoundCloud.
Yeah, everything.
Spotify. Actually, I'm just Junk Food on Spotify, but everywhere else, Junk Food DJ.
Junk Food DJ. Fuck with them. All right, y'all. We out.